Howdy y'all, my name is Fishing Inferno. Welcome back to another, like, a little review, I guess. Yeah, review. It's been a while since I've done a review. I decided to just do another review. It's been a while since I haven't uploaded a video in like a week. So I decided just to get a video out. But this review is kind of on a swim bait, and the swim bait's really cool. I just pulled it out when I was fishing over the weekend. I just pulled it up to try it out, see what it looks like in the water. And holy crap, that thing is cool. I haven't really caught anything off of it, but this swim bait I'm about to go over is gonna catch some huge monsters. When I mean by monsters, I mean like 10 plus pounders. Not even a joke, because it looks so real. You could buy this, at any store. Well, I know you could buy them at BassPro.com or just Bass Pro in general, any Bass Pro where you live. I live near California, and the bass here in California love shiners. So I decided, well, why not just use shad? Why just not buy a bait that imitates shiners or shad? And I just got that one. This is like my third, fourth swim bait I bought. Fifth swim bait. I don't use swim bait so much, but when I do, it's pretty good. Like one of the swim baits I have, which are these, big hammer swim baits. But yeah, I don't use those because I need jig heads for those. But anyway, stop talking about stuff now. But yeah, I love swim baits. They're pretty cool. Fully cotton. I'm gonna use one of the swim bait with success. But anyway, let's just get to the review. And this is gonna be on. Sorry, I have to be careful with this pole. It's 7 foot. But the swim bait I'm gonna be reviewing is probably you can see it. I'm not sure if you can, but I need to. There we go. Is the Bass Pro Shops. Oops. XPS series Shad. This thing is awesome. Just look at the detail on that. This is I've seen jointed. This is my second jointed swim bait I have. It's amazing. The colors are really great. But the other swim bait I do have is the Banjo 006 minnows. Those things are also jointed. But I don't crank them in like you do with the normal one, just because you have to check them out yourself. But this bait looks pretty sick. I got it in the shad color because it imitates shiners the best. They didn't have a shiner color, so I decided just to get a shad. Closely resembles. But the reason why I wanted a swim bait like this is just because it has a built-in weight and built-in hook. I didn't want to have to tie on a hook and then put on weights, and then have to just tie on one thing. It's all put together. Besides the Banjo 006 minnows, the swim bait I use a lot off, so it doesn't come in realistic colors. Like this, but I have gotten them off like like a baby bass kind of color, shad kind of color. You're stalking me. Sorry, guys, my mom is stalking me right now. But God, now it's freaking dark in my room. Anyway, the only so I wanted kind of a swim bait in a more realistic color. You can't see anything now. There we go. There. Also really cool. Some glitters in it to resemble scales and stuff. Really cool details in that thing too. And this thing has a wide wobble in it. I'm not even joking on how wide this wobble is. It's like wide. It kicks out a lot of water, causes a lot of irritation. It has a size 4 black nickel Gamakatsu hook. I know it's size 4 black nickel. I'm not sure what company it's from though. Really sharp. The only really downside about this thing though is it's kind of doesn't seem too durable, so that's kind of really the downsides about this. But also the hook also gets the line that I use gets hung up. It gets hung up like that, so it doesn't swim good enough. Gets twisted and stuff, so be careful about that. Don't crank it too fast to where it does that. But I'd use this in very, very, very. I mean, very light, very, very. I can't even explain how light you have to fish and cover with this. Say you're fishing around weeds and stuff. Don't throw in thick stuff because that crap is gonna rip this thing to shreds. So use it around light, really light stuff where there's barely any stuff, or just in open water where guys are holding in about in points and stuff. But this thing's gonna pull out some monsters. But I'm kind of gonna go. Whoops, excuse me. I keep burping for some reason. I'm gonna go over the gear now for this. First of all, let me go over the knot I use for this. The knot I use is the what do you call it? The Palomar knot. It's the only knot I use now, But I used to use the improved clinch knot, which is not a really good knot. You broke all the time. So I decided to go to a stronger knot, and my friend showed me the improved clinch knot, how to tie correctly, and I do it now. So that's the only knot I really use. It's really good. Palomar knot, you could seriously, you don't even, like, seriously, it could last you like 2 years. You could just tie, you could have this one bait on, tie the Palomar knot once, and that thing will be on for like years to come because it's so strong. But I tend to use braid just because when your bait sinks, the blade, well, I don't know why, but if I want to crank it near the surface, the braid floats. So if I want to keep it near the surface, I can. But fishes at any depth, I use to tend in shallow, depending on where the bass are. But braid most of the time, just because I'm fishing around crap all the time. So yeah, also now it's instead of line and putting knots and stuff, let's move to the reel first. The reel is a Johnny Morris Signature Series 2 reel. I'd usually go with a 6:4:1 or 7:1 gear ratio because it has that higher gear ratio. But tend to keep it to like the 6:2:1, 6:4:1, or 6 whatever to 1 gear ratio. Just because it doesn't pick up too much line, but yet it picks up just enough line to give it a good tail flap in the water. I tend to stick with 6:4:1 gear ratio just because it picks up 28 inches of line. That's good enough. Don't go to 30. Don't go to like 8:1:1. Picks up like 40, 50 inches of line. That's just way too much. But also, if you need to slow down, a 6:4:1 is really good. So just 6:4:1 or 6:2:1. 11 bearings. It doesn't really matter how many bearings you have. Just have a good bearing system. It doesn't really matter, but just stick with a 6:4:1 high-speed reel. Don't go with super high speed, just high speed. You don't have to get anything really fancy. I got this really fancy reel which cost me $260. It has dual braking systems, 11 bearings, removable side plate, free reel grips, 6:4:1 gear ratio, high speed. So that's why it cost me so much. It's really shiny too. Enough about the reel. Moved on to the rod. The rod, I know, like I said in the past few videos I've made about this rod, that I know it's a musky rod, but it works. Okay, it really works. I've seriously gotten like, if you haven't seen my surrounded bass fishing with GoPro, whatever, which one, the first one I believe it was, with a GoPro, I pulled out something like 2 bass with this small one, like a small dinker, like a 1/4 ounce bass. And then I pulled out like 3/4 ounce bass, and then I pulled like a 2.5, 3 pound bass with it. So this works with bass, but it's the Bass Pro Shops Brawler. It works for any kind of fish that are aggressive. You can use it for muskie, walleye, trolling, and all that other stuff. You can use it for saltwater too. That's how good it is. I don't know why I have it in a 7-foot size. It's just because that's the only really size that I had of it, I believe, in this action, medium heavy action. Medium heavy action has a pretty good tip in it. You need a good tip to feel those light hits. But medium heavy, just so you can just in case you're fishing in a decent amount of cover, you don't get hung up with like a medium action. In my opinion, medium action is just too light for when you're using swim baits. But heavy action rods is just a bit too heavy, so I tend to stick with the medium heavy, just because it has a good tip, good backbone, good everything. It fits. Fits in my books. But you can also use a 6.5 foot rod in medium heavy action. Doesn't matter. You could use it any length. 5 foot medium heavy, 7 foot medium heavy, 7'8", probably even 8 foot medium heavy. Just as long as it's medium heavy, it doesn't matter what length you use. But I just had this one 7 because they only had medium heavy brawler rod in 7, in 7 in medium heavy, but it was only in 7 foot. But I can't wait to use this thing next time I go out at Ross, or just use this in general anywhere. I think it's gonna pull out some monstrous fish. So just a quick overview. A 3-inch size too, 3-inch size shad colored XPS series laser eye shad. What do you call it? A Palomar knot, 40-pound braid from Power Pro. Didn't go through that for the company. 7-foot medium heavy action rod, good just for all around kind of thing. And can't get but a high-speed reel, 6:41 gear ratio, spooled up with 40-pound braid of your brand of choice. But before I do leave this video, I just want to give you guys a good look at this bait to look how cool that thing is. It is literally the sickest looking bait I've ever seen. Here, let me stop it. Spin. There's the coolest bait I've ever seen. Ever. Like, that thing is sick. Just look at that. Let's pull out some monsters. It's been a very long review. Just been blabbing all day. It's like it's going to be a 12-minute video when I'm done. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. Do another tutorial soon. Can't wait to use this thing in the summer. It's going to pull out some monstrous fish. I wouldn't probably go any bigger than 3-inch, but if you're the bass that you're like, a reservoir or whatever, are feeding off those bigger, like the jumbo size shiners, I'm seeing like 2 times bigger than this, I'd probably go with 4 and 5-inch if you're willing to go that distance. But most shad and shiners and other shad related species to the shad usually tend to be 3 inches, so I wouldn't go any bigger than that. But if you need to, then go ahead. But this bait's going to be really sick over the summer and stuff and spring. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed. See you on the next video. Yeah, if you haven't done it already, hit that subscribe button below. Hit me up with a like. Hit me up with a sub. Hit me up with a comment. Whatever comment. I don't care what comment you leave me. Just not as long as it's hate. I hate comments. And I hope you all enjoyed. See you on the next video. And... Broof.